Welcome, everybody, to our After the Sermon podcast. This is something new we've been trying, and Nancy and I have been having a lot of fun. I hope those of you who've been listening to it have. But it's our opportunity to dive a little deeper into a little bit about what we talked about during the sermon on Sundays. So if you haven't subscribed to our podcast station, go ahead and do that and enjoy. So welcome, Nancy. Wonderful to have you.
Good morning, Sue. It's always wonderful to connect with you, and I like starting my Sunday mornings off with you.
It is nice. It is nice. I come into the office, and instead of just diving into work, I get to spend time with you. So this is a good start.
Aren't we supposed to be bringing kind of the essence, I'll say, our connectedness to God into our doingness? It's kind of like, when you go to yoga class, and the whole point of the yoga class is to remember how to be off the mat, not just be that way in the mat. Probably similar to going to church, right? Don't just be that person for an hour on Sunday, but be that person throughout the week. So what's the math there? What's the secret sauce of that integration?
Well, it's kind of like yoga. You go to a yoga class to practice these things with other people and to learn how to do them. And yes, Sunday morning is like that. And these moments that we create for ourselves to pause and breathe are like that too. If we're so busy doing things that we aren't paying attention to our connectedness and we aren't paying attention to what's most important, then we're not going to do any better at focusing on what's important. So, yeah, we have to stop, we have to practice, and then, yes, that hopefully that's the intent, is that transfers over into the other aspects of our lives. I tell a story during the sermon about this one man who was always traveling for work and says his family was the most important thing, but the way he was using his time did not show that. It actually showed that something else was more important. And when he rearranged his priorities as a result of that reflection, he became more connected with his family, more grounded in himself, but other people noticed that as well. And he began to find ways to connect with others and bring some brightness and some peace and some hope into other people's lives too. So that's the hope, is that what we practice in those moments changes us in ways that are noticeable in the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. So my last question for you today is kind of on that same kind of vein, but it's kind of like our faith has us, trusting that Christ is always with us. Mm-hmm. Kind of no matter what we're doing or how busy we are, right?
Right.
And so how do we either, connect into that Christ-like consciousness that we all have in our when, quite frankly, we just have to get stuff done right now.
And sometimes we do. I think we all have those crunch moments and periods and seasons in our lives where there's just a lot to do and we've got to get it done. The first couple months of the year are always that way for me. End of the year stuff for church, getting ready for Lent, annual meeting for the church, just a whole bunch of stuff. It's crunch time for me, and I just got to get stuff done. Well, first of all, I think it's still important to even just take, 1 minute breaks. We can all do that. We can all take a 1 minute break every now and then and breathe and ask ourselves, am I doing the most important thing? Because sometimes in that crunch time when there's stuff to be done, we aren't always doing the most important thing. Sometimes there's things that we think is important that really don't need to be done. So we can all take a minute or two or even 5, be generous, and ask ourselves that question and stop and breathe. When we do that, we also tune into Christ within us and Christ around us. And we can literally ask that question, where is Christ in this moment? Thanks for joining us at First Presbyterian Church, where faith is nurtured, curiosity encouraged, diversity welcomed, and all are loved. Find out more about us at fpclincoln.org.